Man, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Bird. Man, right now just chilling. Um, what can I say, man? I was doing a couple, some researches about the Phoenicians during ancient time. There's actually a people from northern Africa, mainly on the coastal uh, Mediterranean, from the Africa all the way to I think what you see in the Middle East, all the way from like Israel, what they call Canada. That used to be Palestine, and even pre-Palestine, Palestine, Canaan, um, all the way to Lebanon. I know a lot of people in the science community, and you got some, wannabe scientific, whatever, historians, whatever. They practically like they're taking Egypt out of Africa. It's like they're already taking the Phoenician out of Africa. So I kind of did a little bit of a research on the Phoenicians. It kind of goes a little blurry, man. You got to go dig real deep, because what they took was they were talking about the origin of the Phoenician, and they were saying the homeland's originally in Lebanon. Then I started backtracking a little bit more, and then they said, well, the origin based from the Lutheran Sea, and it's kind of like the Lutheran Sea is basically a part of body water that's between the pretty much the Horn of Africa and the southern base of Saudi Arabia Peninsula. So I'm kind of thinking to myself like, well, and then I did more research, and it said Bahrain, and I'm thinking like, I don't think they had a fucking clue, because you take a people that's mainly from the coast of northern Africa. But I think when they realized, I think it came, they maybe originate out the Horn of Africa. I think that's when they kind of had to take it out of Africa. Also too, I tell everybody, the Phoenician language is an Afro-Asiatic language. It's part of the Afro-Asiatic language, like Semitic, Canaanite. That's all part of the Afro-Asiatic language family. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew and all that. That's all part of Afro-Asiatic. So, and that language consists of that. It's an Afro-Asiatic. I've been telling people, your language come out of Africa. And I know a lot of people would look at me crazy. I was like, from Latin to Greek, all that shit came from Africa. The Phoenician language, like the letters you see here, the words you say, well, like the alphabet, that all originated out of the Phoenicians' alphabet. That's where the Greek got their alphabet. And when it transverse to the Romans, they use what they learned from the Greeks, what the Greeks learned from the Phoenicians. Egypt is also somewhat part of the Phoenician language and a Proto-Afro-Asiatic language family as well. So you got a lot of intermix right there. But yeah, like I said, it's over. I think they saved over 10,000 scripts, but they said they have more. But a lot of the scriptures were on papyrus, and it's like a paper, like a cloth. So over time, that could rot away. Once it's wet, it's screwed. So they say they lost millions of other scriptures and evidence and written evidence about the Phoenician language. So, and I think it dates back. I think the writing system of the Phoenician language dates back like almost the 11th century BC. So you think it's like it's like 1100 BC or after. But the written evidence, the written evidence goes back to 11th century BC. So before all that, they probably was already writing and speaking it for another several thousand years. So that lets you know. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about, the Phoenicians were white and blase. I said, well, look, man, they probably was, they've been. I mean, they intermixed with a lot of people from that area of the world. So, I could see a little bit of mixture going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, North Africa. Let's say, I'm gonna make it more generally. The Mediterranean was like the first melting pot. So I will. If I want to say the first, I'll just say a melting pot in its own right. So everybody coming there is mixed. You got like Greece. Greek was almost like a Semitic civilization. If you guys don't know what Semitic is, it's Semitic or whatever like that. That's mean half. So Greek was like pretty much a biracial civilization. So I could see that. But just then again, I'm like I tell everybody, man, you like a lot of people heard about the Phoenicians because you just think about Europe. It comes from a Phoenician goddess, Europa. So there's a lot of things that Europe give half credit to the Phoenician, but at the same time they want to claim the Phoenician. But you gotta recognize. You know what I'm saying? Real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would definitely put that on my Instagram page, man. Let everybody read up on it, and I'm just putting a little bit more insight that I pretty much researched on it. But yeah, you gotta dig a little bit deeper, because I mean they'll give you like a surface bit of information, but you gotta go in the depths. I didn't know the origination come out of the Horn of Africa, so that kind of like took me by surprise. Like, they come out of that area of Ethiopia and Somalia, that whole area. So that's definitely opened my eyes about the Phoenician, and definitely the origin of alphabet. That definitely opened my eye who was the originator. So big up to my ancient African brothers and sisters for that. You know what I'm saying? Because actually your legacy still live on. I mean, I know the white man don't like to claim it, but this a brother and sister invented this. So, like I said, I'm gonna leave you go. Check me out, Big Bird at Instagram, and I'll get with you guys later. All right, one.